Look what we got back, the Toyota Grand Highlander.
Is it as good as we remember from the first drive? Hybrid Max engaged.
Man, I gotta tell ya, I still like the Hybrid Max. Poor Zach and his sunglasses.
Yeah, no wonder they're all scratched. All right, we have lots of options if you want to get a Grand Highlander. What's under the hood of this particular one?
A 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 6-speed automatic transmission, a combined 362 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, standard all-wheel drive, and you can put regular fuel in this Grand Highlander.
There are two other powertrains. The base model is a gas 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 265 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. In Canada, standard all-wheel drive. In the US, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
And finally, there's the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder hybrid matched to an ECVT. It gets a combined 243 horsepower. In Canada, standard all-wheel drive. In the US, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options are available.
So we have driven all three.
Yep.
Some other reviewers have not. We have driven the gas, the hybrid, and this Hybrid Max. They sent us the most expensive one, Andrea.
Of course.
I'm okay with that.
It's my favorite anyway. Thank you.
And you know what? The one I like is, I'm cheap and Scottish, is I like the base model turbo gas. That's the sweet spot for me, Andrea.
You know what? I enjoyed that one as well, and it comes with some great features. Let's get into it. The base trim comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a 7-inch multi-information display, 6-speaker audio system, a wireless charger, heated steering wheel, heated front SofTex seats, power driver and passenger seats, 8-passenger seating, a power liftgate, and Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. In the US, a heated steering wheel is available one up from the base model.
Hybrid Max is the performance hybrid. We have had it in sport. It is affecting the fuel economy almost the entire time.
Yeah.
So what else can we put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the Cup of Carvey, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's up behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto. And the links are below the like button. Smash that too.
Sometimes when we get to go on the first drive event, it's wonderful because we can share it with you right away, but we don't get to spend as much time with the vehicle as we like. So it's always good to get it back for a week.
Okay, so when we drove this, it was in Hawaii. We were on the Big Island. We drove the gas, the hybrid, and this Max, and we rocked some Hawaiian shirts. But we didn't get a lot of time in each. This makes a big difference driving it on our streets, using it in our everyday situation. And the more I drive this, Andrea, the more I like it.
Same. This Hybrid Max powertrain is terrific. It is smooth. The cabin remains quiet. It's comfortable. And the 6-speed automatic transmission is quick shifting and smooth.
That's really what you've got at play here. Like just dissect this for a second.
Yeah.
You've got at the core a 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder, and on the base model it is that all on its own is great. Then you add in the fact it's got an automatic transmission. Then you layer on the electronics, and why not the 8-speed and only a 6-speed? The chief engineer was in Hawaii and he told us it was packaging constraints. They couldn't fit the 8-speed. They went with the 6-speed.
You'll like it anyway, the 6-speed. I also find that the visibility in here is very good. It's easy to get in and out of the vehicle because it's not sitting up too high, yet the ground clearance of 8 inches is still very good for this model. You'll be impressed. The Hybrid Max powertrain in particular is impressive because it's a nice blend of power, performance, and then of course the fuel economy.
All right, so every time Andrea talks about how great this Hybrid Max is, I'm going to counter with the base model 2.4 liter turbo, 8-speed automatic, good performance, Not the same fuel economy, but
No.
it's a lot cheaper. And what you get with all of these is space. We're going to touch on this again as we go through the video.
Yeah.
But this is one of the biggest in this category. That's why she's called Grande.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to absolutely clobber regular Highlander sales. People are going to opt for this.
And even the 2.5 liter hybrid, if you're just looking for a bigger vehicle with good fuel economy, she is your girl. You'll also be happy with that. Of course, it doesn't have the power that this has. Does get louder when you accelerate quickly on the highway. But like I said, if fuel economy is your number one priority, that's the one to go with.
And then we turn our attention to the way this looks, and I would say it's a handsome looking Toyota. Toyota is not going to reach for the stars with styling. It's conservative. It looks like a bigger RAV4. I'm okay with that. I think it's a good looking vehicle.
It has a really bold look. I think it has a nice presence on the road. The grille reminds me of a Lexus, has that vibe to it. Comes standard with LED headlights, LED taillights. You get roof rails, standard 18-inch wheels, available 20-inch, and a temporary spare tire.
Oh, you mentioned Lexus. We are going to Texas in a few weeks to drive the Lexified version of this called the Lexus TX. It's in Texas, get it? TX?
TX.
We're going to Texas.
Excited about that one.
What's great about the inside of this, they didn't screw around with everything in the screen. There's real buttons and switches. It's easy to understand. Big screen. Everything is logical. Thank you, Toyota.
Yeah, and it's well laid out. The center console sits a little bit higher, so it's easy to access the wonderful small Lexus shifter in the Hybrid Max models, which I am a big fan of. And there's plenty of storage, whether it's at the center console or in the door pockets.
And just like the smaller Highlander, you still get the little shelf that you can fill with all your junk, and next to that is a USB port.
And how about 3 cup holders here? One that will hold a large water bottle.
Super big gulp.
I was going to say, or Zach's super big gulp.
I've never had a super big gulp in my life, but that would fit.
Now, one thing to talk about is seating configuration. This is a family hauler, so you're probably wondering which trims get a bench seat and which trims get captain's chairs.
Which trims get a bench seat and which trims get captain's chairs?
Let's start with Canada. Only the XLE model comes with a bench seat. All other trims come with captain's chairs.
Why, Toyota? Why you do that to us?
Why? In the US, there's more of a selection. XLE and Limited models can have either the bench seat or captain's chairs, but Platinum and Hybrid Max models only captain's chairs.
This is a trend we've got to get rid of. Oh, by the way, speaking of chief engineer, we asked this question, why no bench seat on the higher trims? It's pretty common in the industry, not just Toyota.
No.
And he explained it very well. He says, when you get the higher trims, they have more standard equipment. Therefore, the vehicle is heavier. To maintain fuel economy and the tow rating, something's got to go. Plus, they say if you calculate the middle seat, you have to basically average out an adult human. So when you get rid of the seat and you get rid of the imaginary human, you save a lot of weight.
There are 2 vehicles in this class that do offer a bench seat on the top trim. The new Volkswagen Atlas, the 2024 model, or I should really say refresh, not new. And of course, the Honda Pilot. You can remove that center seat so you can have either a bench seat or captain's chairs on the top trim.
It can be done. They've just decided to put it, I guess, towards fuel economy.
But you know what? We're going to keep hammering at home, Toyota.
So you know what? We're going to get into the trims. Andrew, you know which one I would choose.
You know what, Zach? That base model comes with some nice standard features. You're not wrong.
Oh, no, I'm not wrong.
But
and I love the base engine.
But
you want this one, right?
Zach, you know I like the Hybrid Max powertrain. In Canada, there is only one Hybrid Max trim, and that's the Platinum.
And we're rolling in it, baby.
Yeah, in the US, you get the Limited and Platinum, which is quite nice. I'm really happy for you in the US. Not for me in Canada this time around. In Canada, Limited gas and hybrid models have the 12.3-inch digital driver display, a panoramic view monitor, the 11-speaker JBL sound system, panoramic sunroof, leather trimmed seating, driver's seat memory, ventilated front seats, ambient lighting, and a power tailgate with kick sensor.
In the United States, there are some exceptions. The panoramic sunroof and panoramic view monitor are options on lower trims and standard on this Platinum model. In both countries, the Platinum model adds ventilated second row seats, a head-up display, and digital rear-view mirror.
And for those US buyers, you get more interior color options. In Canada, it's black. And then of course on this Hybrid Max powertrain, you've got the Portobello, which we've got right here, and a black interior. But in the US, you also have the addition of light gray, which we saw.
That was our favorite.
Oh, it looks sharp.
All right, we mentioned it off the top. This is a biggie, one of the biggest in this class. You climb in the second row, and of course the seats slide fore and aft. You get good leg room, great headroom, and the seats also recline. With these captain's chairs on the top trim, the cup holders in the center are removable.
Comparing the Grand Highlander to the Volkswagen Atlas and Honda Pilot, the Grand Highlander offers 41.7 inches of front row legroom, which is the same as the Atlas and over an inch more than the Pilot. Second row legroom at 39.5 inches is bigger than the Atlas, but an inch less than the Pilot.
Getting in the back row is not that hard. You climb in when the seats are slid forward, and you have plenty of headroom and legroom, even for adults.
Third row legroom is where the Grand Highlander shines at 33.5 inches, offering the same as the Atlas and an inch more than the Pilot.
And then you lift the standard power liftgate, and you get a very useful space with all the seats up. Under the floor, there isn't a lot of extra storage.
Overall cargo space is great at 97.5 cubic feet, and space behind the second row at 57.9 cubic feet, which is more than these competitors. Space behind the third row at 20.7 cubic feet is the same as the Atlas, but a little more than the Pilot.
Coffee time!
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
As a 2018 Highlander hybrid driver, I'm holding on to mine until a plug-in version comes to market. Any rumors about a Prime model or any new Prime models in the Toyota pipeline?
I think they're going to be coming. I just don't know when. It's just a matter of time,
Yeah,
I think.
I think so too. I actually thought there would already be a Highlander Prime, and there isn't yet. But I do believe they're coming. Toyota doesn't really give us a lot of extra information about future products. Trust me, we ask. We do.
They say we don't comment on future products and say it doesn't stop us from asking.
Yeah, and we keep asking. So at this point, they haven't confirmed anything, but we expect more Primes to come.
Well, if you think about it, they could do a Prime for the Highlander family, and that would include Highlander, Sienna, Grand Highlander. If they had a Prime, they could do all three vehicles at once.
I really just love that Toyota is offering all this different hybrids, less powerful, more powerful plug-in hybrids, and still some gas models. I just think it's terrific to have such a broad portfolio like that. Compared with the non-hybrid model, will the hybrid model have reduced space between the third row bench and the floor? Thank you very much.
We contacted head office. What did they report back?
They said it's the exact same. Now, when Zach and I were in Hawaii and we drove the Grand Highlander for the first time, we thought it was pretty much the same, but we couldn't remember exactly.
We were in a few different models, so it was confusing.
We were definitely confusing. Thanks for coming up again with this wonderful review. I would like to know, how does it stack up against the Sienna? Which of the two would you prefer in terms of space, comfort, and ride quality?
Well, you just cannot beat a minivan for ease of use, getting in and out with the big sliding doors. Little kids can jump in, they can climb in, elderly people can get in them. You get a huge cargo area at the back with a deep well where the seats fold down. So minivans really are the best for moving people and stuff around, and you can get it with an all-wheel drive and you can get it with a hybrid. But you know what? This is what people want. Yeah,
I mean, some people just don't think minivans are cool. I don't mind minivans. I think
you
that they're
never
super
would be
practical.
Caught dead in a minivan.
I never wanted a minivan.
No.
Just let's say that, okay? But I understand the practicality of them. The Sienna offers more third row legroom as well. And like Zach said, getting kids in and out is just so easy. However, I am not a huge fan of the way the Sienna drives and really handles. I find that when accelerating, it gets loud. I feel like that van struggles a bit with that 2.5 liter hybrid. I much prefer it in this Grand Highlander.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
I've heard that the Hybrid Max in real life driving doesn't get anywhere close to its rated fuel economy. True?
So this is a performance hybrid, and we're using more of the performance than the fuel-saving hybrid. And it's just like a lot of other vehicles. If you have a lot of power at your disposal, you use it.
Yeah.
And we have it in sport most of the time. It's affecting our fuel economy. We don't care because this is probably getting better fuel economy than if it had just like a V6 under the hood.
Yeah, sure. So we're getting about 11.6 liters per 100 kilometers, which is 20 miles per gallon. But we did get it down to 10.8 liters per 100 kilometers, 22 miles per gallon. So why don't we get into those fuel economy numbers with our vital stats? Pay attention to the Hybrid Max, but also the base 2.5 liter hybrid numbers. They are impressive. Let's start with pricing. The XLE gas model starts at just over $53,500. The XLE hybrid starts at just under $57,000. And the top Platinum Hybrid Max is just under $68,500 Canadian. In the US, the XLE gas front-wheel drive model starts at just over $43,000, and the all-wheel drive model is just over $44,500. The top Platinum Hybrid Max is just over $58,000 US.
Here's the fuel economy for the base 2.4 liter turbo, 11.2 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 8.6 on the highway. That's 21 miles per gallon city, 27 miles per gallon highway. For the base hybrid, it's an incredible 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, just 7.4 on the highway. That's 36 miles per gallon in the city, 32 miles per gallon on the highway. This Hybrid Max gets 9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 8.8 on the highway. That's still an impressive 26 miles per gallon in the city, 27 miles per gallon on the highway. The gas and Hybrid Max models can tow 5,000 pounds. The base hybrid, 3,500 pounds. In the United States, you get complimentary scheduled maintenance for 2 years or 25,000 miles. So if you want a 3-row SUV to move people around, here's 4 other choices.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is a Kia Telluride with a 3.8 liter V6 engine, 291 horsepower, and a starting price just under $53,000.
The Volkswagen Atlas with a new 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It has 269 horsepower and a starting price just under $50,000.
The new Honda Pilot with a 3.5 liter V6, 285 horsepower, and a starting price just under $53,000.
The Mazda CX-90 with a new 3.3 liter inline 6-cylinder turbo, 340 horsepower, and a starting price just over $48,000.
So there are 4 3-row SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I love all the powertrain options on this Grand Highlander. There's something for everyone.
I love the way cheaper base model.
What I'd like to see is a bench seat offered on all trims, Toyota.
I'll say it. Maybe give us a plug-in.
Oh yeah, I still like the Grand Highlander, but I especially like the Hybrid Max powertrain.
This thing is going to crush it in the marketplace.